Then they're back here to play the Waratahs, and into touch it goes. And once again, on Fiji soil, the Fijian Drua have done it.
I wasn't gonna do this video until perhaps a few weeks on from now, when the Crusaders have, had their first home game. But then I realized, it's kind of clicks that get viewership. So I do apologize to those group of fans who think this is a bit premature, because I'm with you. I think it is still premature to write off the Crusaders, even though I think a lot of New Zealand rugby fans who aren't from Canterbury or the South Island or are quite happy, enjoying seeing the Crusaders struggling as they are at the moment. Of course, it's 3 games, 3 losses, and certainly a couple of losses against teams they didn't probably were expected to beat. Okay, look, I know it's in Fiji. They played the Drua in Fiji, but the Crusaders were kind of expected to win. Beat a Fijian Drua team who A, had had a lot of changes in personnel, and B, even playing in Lautoka, they were, you kind of expected the Crusaders, to kind of get things going. But and then of course they had that game against the Waratahs, which I thought was probably one of the Crusaders' worst games in a long time. Look, I was expecting them to, the Chiefs game first half was always going to be tough. But certainly, I think if you look back on the game, the first half again, Hamilton was, the Crusaders were just absolutely outpowered. But I think on the flip side, though, there are a lot of positive things, and the Crusaders scrum remains as potent as ever. But I think, what was evident is that, there is clearly a lot of this Crusaders team has clearly lost a lot of experience. Certainly in the back line, you've lost, Richie Mo'unga is undoubtedly, one of, if not the best first fives in the world. Will Jordan's out with injury. They've only just got David Havili back there against, they had Hemara against the Fijian Drua. They had Piaki. They're all very talented, but still very inexperienced. Braden Eno is still yet to return. And they've still got issues up, and then of course in the forwards, in terms of, I guess, leadership, more likely it's, while they have Scott Barrett, they're missing, Sam Whitelock's not there anymore, and not just experience, but his ability to carry the ball. But I think you're also thinking Ethan Blackadder's continuing to have issues with injuries, so there's a lot. I think, and I guess that leads, there is this Crusaders team. I guess it is not surprising to see them struggling, and of course the big piece is the coach, Rob Penney. And look, I think a lot of doomsayers are saying Rob Penney's never won a Super Rugby game. Certainly had that disastrous stint with the Waratahs, and now is, people are questioning, whether he was the right choice for the Crusaders. I think it's, I still think we need to give, look, they have, I guess the first things first, the Crusaders have not played at home yet. I know the Crusaders Waratahs game was meant to be a home game, but that was, by all accounts, that was, an away game. It was played in Melbourne as part of Super Round. So we need to see, we need to, really, I think Crusaders have been in this situation before in the past, where they might have, I think you look back, for example, 2011, they had a really bad start, and not to their own fault, of course. You had the Christchurch earthquake, which forced them to go on the road. But you've got to remember that season they lost to the Blues. That Hurricanes game was in Wellington was forfeited, and they had so they have come back from bad starts. And look, I think in this competition where they don't have to tap to South Africa or Argentina, I think the Crusaders have every chance to get back. I think that's the nature of Super Rugby now, and I think the Crusaders will still be in the running. I know, of course, 2009, they had a pretty poor start as well when Todd Blackadder was just starting to coach, but they managed to squeak into the top 4. So I'll just say, I've seen this before. Crusaders, they are a team that has started slow. I mean, this is not a vintage Crusaders side. It's one that has got a lot of promise and talent, but there's a lot of youth as well and inexperience. And I think they just need to get time. Obviously, look, I mean, Hurricane, even if they lose against the Hurricanes, who are absolutely hot at the moment, top of the table, it still won't be the end of the world. I think they'll have plenty of time to get back. And yeah, and of course, it's an eight-team playoff, so they've got every chance to get back in. But what are your thoughts? What's wrong with the Crusaders right now? And is there any way for them to get back into the mix? Can they still be considered, are they still in the mix for the title in 2024, or has the Dynasty come to an end? If you like this video, feel free to like, and don't forget to subscribe.